Next news, breaking news.
This is not a normal May Day in America. While left-wing anti-ICE agitators flood the streets of Washington and New York, the nation's capital is dealing with something far more dangerous than chanting and signs. Protesters are scaling a bridge. A man has barricaded himself on top of that bridge. Police drones are up. Snipers are positioned nearby. And just when the chaos hits a boiling point, President Donald Trump sends a message from the sky the protesters will never forget. He didn't hide, he didn't retreat, and he didn't surrender the moment. What happened next was classic Trump and absolutely unforgettable. Now, here's why this matters to every law-abiding American who's watching right now. When the left calls this activism, what you're really seeing is a test of whether the public order still means anything. A test of whether major cities in the nation's capital can be turned into pressure chambers every time radicals want attention. And a test of whether the federal government will stand with citizens and law enforcement or bow to the mob. Under President Trump, that answer is clear. The administration's not rewarding chaos, it's backing the people who keep this country safe. But when you look at the split screen in New York, crowds pour into the streets for May Day disruptions. In D.C., protesters push beyond slogans and into dangerous spectacle, climbing infrastructure and forcing an emergency response. This is what happens when years of anti-ICE and anti-police propaganda and soft-on-crime politics tell radicals that consequences are optional. The result is disorder for your city, your commute, your safety, and your country. And while America reasserts control on the streets, there's another huge Trump move happening right now that could secure our future from the ground up, literally. This just from the White House. They announced over $30 billion to secure America's critical mineral supply chains and named a specific Alaskan project as a key strategic asset for U.S. mineral independence. Now that matters because President Trump just unveiled Project Vault, a $12 billion strategic mineral reserve designed to stockpile essential resources and keep America strong, secure, and self-reliant. I've personally been to the copper drilling site in Canada myself. I've seen it with my own eyes. What's happening right now is bigger than most people realize. Vizsla Copper is trading in the U.S. under VCUFF, and in Canada is VCU.V. If you want the full breakdown on why this story could become a major America First win, check the exclusive briefing right now, but it is only for Next News viewers. It's linked below. Now, back to the street-level chaos that Trump answered with one unmistakable show of strength, because here's the part the corporate media will hate showing you on loop. While D.C. radicals were screaming into microphones and turning the Capitol into a circus, Trump flew over it in Marine One and completely hijacked the moment. Oh yes, the pass was so low, drowned out the protest sound system, leaving demonstrators yelling into dead air and gesturing at the sky in frustration. That image tells you everything. The protests wanted dominance. Trump turned it into parody. And while they raged, he just kept on moving forward. Watch this moment. This is absolutely true Trump leaving the White House. There's Marine One flying directly over the protesters. He's just taunting. Come at me, bro. Oh, yes. They felt that rotor wash. There's no question. He made sure that they felt it. Oh, yeah. I have felt that rotor wash right there at the White House, and it is absolutely... It is a blast of wind, and there's no question those guys heard it and felt it. So Trump turned the anti-ICE rally into a joke with one low Marine One pass, but the chaos in D.C. didn't stop there. Now protesters climbing a bridge and forcing a major emergency response, scaling the D.C. bridge while communist May Day events continue. What happens if he falls? I guess one less lunatic, right?
Go ahead, move,
They got the bridge shut down because the lunatics up there. That's what's happening in D.C. So it goes from screaming at the sky to shutting down the bridge at the Capitol. Contrast with Florida, where Trump brings up ICE and Border Patrol. He's at the Villages today. The crowd went wild in Florida when Trump shouted about ICE and CBP.
Our borders were being, that wasn't people coming, that was an invasion of our country. 11,888 murderers, 50% of which, more than that, killed more than one person. These are the people they allowed into our country. The good news is we're getting them back, and we're getting them out. We're getting them out. And I want to thank Border Patrol, and I want to thank ICE for the abuse that they have to take from the Democrats. That's nice. They'll be happy to hear that. That's very nice. Very nice. Thank you. They'll be happy to hear that. They watch. I mean, ICE, the job they have, Border Patrol, the job they have. Think of it, the border, 11 months, 0 people came through our border. 0. And those charts are made up by Democrats. They don't even try. The answer is, that used to be thousands, hundreds of thousands of people lined up trying to break into our country. Now there's nobody. You have these plazas, there's nobody in them. They don't, because they know they're not coming in. But the job that Border Patrol and ICE, and then they get ridiculed and defunded. They will defund your police. If they had free reign, the Democrats will defund your police. We cannot. This is what they're doing with ICE. This is what they're doing with Border Patrol.
So the May Day protesters can scream and yell all they want, but President Trump is out there praising ICE to the roaring crowd. But over in New York City, Washington Square, here's their May Day protest. So New York crowd shows the organized street pressure, but in D.C. it gets even more absurd. And we have this update that the man on that South Capitol Street bridge has erected a tent and is refusing to come down. Police have a drone up and also snipers nearby. The guy set up a tent. I don't know what that device is. Maybe you guys in the comments can tell me what that is. Is that it must be a light with a plug. Is he plugged into? Is he getting power up there somehow? Yeah, there he is. That's the guy on top of the bridge in Washington, D.C. So here's the real takeaway, okay? The left wants you to believe the streets belong to them, that intimidation equals momentum, that attacking ICE somehow makes them morally superior, but President Trump just showed the exact opposite. He backed law enforcement publicly. He refused to be rattled by the spectacle, and he reminded the country who's actually in command down in Florida. When Trump thanked the ICE and Border Patrol for the abuse that they'd taken from Democrats, the crowd erupted because America knows the truth. Border security is not extremism. Enforcing the law is not oppression. Defending the homeland is not negotiable. The establishment cannot stand this because Trump's strength exposes their weakness. Their chaos is loud, but it's not winning. So let's sum this up. New York fills with May Day demonstrators. D.C. sees a bridge standoff, drones in the air, snipers on nearby buildings, and protesters pushing past the line of lawful assembly. President Trump responds not with panic, not with apology, but with unmistakable presidential force and public support for ICE and Border Patrol. That's leadership, and that's confidence, and that is why this America First movement keeps growing while the left keeps melting down. If you're tired of watching radicals try to bully the country, share this video right now and drop a comment and answer this yes or no question. Should anyone who attacks public order or targets ICE operations face immediate federal consequences? Subscribe if you have not yet, but most importantly, text that number on the screen. Take a look. Text raw feed to 840-4963. That's the secret telephone number we have set up so that you can beat the algorithm and get direct alerts when it matters most from me right to your phone. And check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. Stay loud, stay proud, and stand with the men and women who defend this nation.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this. Share this now.